A structural problem that the quadrilateral security dialogue, or the Quad as it is commonly called, is the fact that it is immensely personally centric, with the vicissitudes of the grouping's fortunes varying with the extent to which it is favored or disfavored by the US President. And in the mercurial Donald Trump, the Quad is destined to swing all the more. After having shown an inclination to downgrade the importance of Quad upon his second-term assumption of the presidential office, Tuesday's meeting of the foreign ministers of India, Australia and Japan and the US Secretary of State in Washington, D.C. had all the indications that the Quad may be back in the reckoning, but mainly, again, with a focus on the American agenda. First, while the joint statement had a substantial paragraph on China, there was nothing to indicate the inclusion of New Delhi's primary contention with Beijing, that of a contentious land border. The statement says of the South China Sea issue, "We are seriously concerned by the militarization of disputed features." So why wasn't there a mention of the disputed line of control that is a de facto border between India and China-controlled Tibet? Second, the joint declaration reveals the desperation of the US for critical minerals. Expressing concern about supply disruption and the lack of reliability of key supply chains, the statement says, and I quote, "Reliance on any one country for processing and refining critical minerals and derivative goods production exposes our industries to economic coercion, price manipulation, and supply chain disruptions, which further harms our economic and national security." Well, no prizes for guessing which that country might be. That is the reason for the launch of the Quad Critical Minerals Initiative on Tuesday. The statement explained it as an ambitious expansion of our partnership to strengthen economic security and collective resilience by collaborating to secure and diversify critical minerals supply chains. It means henceforth it will be a collective effort on part of the Quad in the US hunt for critical minerals. Third, the signed statement said on North Korea, and I quote, "We express deep concern about countries that are deepening military cooperation with North Korea, which directly undermines the global non-proliferation regime." Now, North Korea collaborates militarily the most with Russia besides China and Iran. The declaration therefore would have a definite impact on India's bilateral and traditionally close relationship with Russia. Fourth, while the Quad has been publicly declared to be a non-military grouping, Tuesday's meeting resulted in a further buttressing of the footprint in the maritime and transnational security domains. The statement said, and I quote, "The Quad is expanding law enforcement cooperation with the region, which supports efforts to curtail illicit maritime activity, including piracy, drug trafficking, infringements on border security, and illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing." It is said that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Tuesday's Quad meeting in Washington, D.C. again underlined the primacy of US and preservation of American interests in the Quad.